I'm Teacher April, and today we'll explore strategies for increasing and decreasing behaviors within the framework of positive behavioral support, namely PBS reinforcement, cognitive behavior modification, school-wide strategies for PBS, and specific behavior challenges. Let's take a look at how PBS can guide our interventions in both preventive and responsive ways. Now, let's define first what is positive behavioral support. It is a proactive, evidence-based framework designed to improve students' social, emotional, and academic outcomes by promoting positive behaviors and reducing problematic ones. And the use of systematic strategies grounded in behavioral science to understand the reason behind challenging behaviors and replace them with appropriate alternatives. Now, let's bear in mind that the implementation of PBS is not one size fits all. It involves a continuum of support strategies aimed at both increasing desirable behaviors and decreasing disruptive or harmful actions. And these strategies can be applied across individual, classroom, or school-wide level. Now, in PBS, we have two strategies. We have the increasing strategies and decreasing strategies. Now, under increasing strategies, that means reinforcing positive behavior through rewards, clear expectations, modeling, and consistent routines. On the other hand, decreasing strategies decreases inappropriate behavior through number 1, addressing the root causes of misbehavior, number 2, reducing environmental triggers, and number 3, teaching self-regulation skills. Now, for the PBS to be effective, it requires a collaboration among educators, support staff, families, and learners themselves. Because PBS is not a one-man job. As the old saying goes, it takes a village to educate a child. Whether in general education or special education settings, these strategies help create a safe, structured, and supportive learning atmosphere conducive to all students' success. It thrives in environments that are consistent, inclusive, and responsive to individuals' needs. And that leads to the key approaches central to positive behavioral support implementation. Now, what are these key approaches? We have the PBS reinforcement, cognitive behavior modification, school-wide strategies for PBS, and specific behavior challenges. Now, let's go to the next page. Now, let's have a short overview about those key approaches, starting with PBS reinforcement. Now, it focuses on systematically encouraging desirable behaviors through positive reinforcement such as praise, tokens, privileges, or access to preferred activities. It is rooted in the principle that behaviors followed by rewarding outcomes are more likely to reoccur. Now, reinforcement is tailored to the individual's needs and preferences and is most effective when applied consistently and immediately after the desired behavior. Now, the key approaches for this are the following: the token economies, behavior-specific praise, and contingency management systems. Now, for example, a student named Kicking raises his hand before speaking during circle time. The teacher immediately praises him like, "Great job! You're raising your hands, Kicking. You earned a token." Once Kicking earns 5 tokens, he gets to play with his favorite toy car. So this positive reinforcement increases the likelihood that he will raise his hands again. Now, how about cognitive behavior modification? From the word itself, cognitive and behavior. It integrates cognitive and behavioral approaches to help students become aware of their own thoughts, monitor their actions, and develop self-control. The focus is on teaching students to replace negative or unproductive thinking with more positive, constructive thoughts, which leads to improved behavior and emotional regulation. Now, the key techniques for this are the following: self-instruction, for example, stop, think, act. Second, problem-solving training. And the third one is modeling and guided practice. For example, a student often shouts when frustrated during math tasks. The teacher teaches her a self-talk routine like, when I feel upset, I will take a deep breath and say, I can ask for help. She practices this with modeling and role-playing. Over time, she learns to calm down and ask for help instead of yelling. So once again, she learned to use her thinking to improve her actions and behavior. That is the cognitive behavior modification. Now, how about school-wide strategies for PBS? It is a tiered framework used by schools to proactively support appropriate behavior in all students. It includes universal supports for all, targeted interventions for at-risk students, and intensive individualized support for those with high needs, designed to create a safe, productive, and predictable school climate by involving all staff, families, and students. Now, the core features of school-wide strategies PBS are the following: clear behavioral expectations, thought, and model. Second, consistent consequences for rule following and rule breaking. And lastly, data-driven decision making. For example, at Igpit Elementary School, all students are taught the 3 school rules. First, be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. Visual reminders are posted around the school. When a student follows these rules, example, walking in line quietly, any teacher can give him a star ticket. And classes with the most tickets at the end of the week gets the class reward like extra playtime. So that is the school-wide strategies for PBS. Now down to our last key approach for this PBS is the specific behavior challenges. It involves identifying the function of a student's behavior and developing targeted interventions. Behaviors may include aggression, non-compliance, task avoidance, or internalizing problems such as withdrawal. Functional behavioral support, functional behavior assessment or FBA is often used to guide the development of behavior intervention plans tailored to individual needs. Now, the common interventions are the following: functional behavioral assessment, environmental modifications, and crisis intervention plans. For example, a student with ADHD frequently leaves his seat during writing tasks. After a functional behavioral assessment, FBA, the team finds he seeks movement and attention. So a behavior intervention plan is created where he gets a movement break card when he can use every 15 minutes. Praise or sticker whenever he completes a task while staying on his seat. And those are the key approaches for increasing and decreasing positive behavior support. Those approaches are the following and will be discussed thoroughly by our teachers like Teacher Effer T. Pilazar for PBS reinforcement, Teacher Mistina Reed D. Welle for cognitive behavior modification, Ma'am Jasmine Jing Mangayan for school-wide strategies for PBS, and lastly, Teacher May Azinet Lucero for specific behavior challenges. And for that, let the adventure begins. Once again, I am Teacher April, and I'm happy to be with you today. Bye!